The Equality Ride is a mobile social justice project. We are a group of young adults, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and our allies, and we come together every year. We are a diverse, driven, and unconventional group of folks. Some of us live in cities, some of us come from rural towns. Some of us have been homeless, kicked out of schools and homes for who we are. We represent many faiths and non-faiths, races, cultures, genders, abilities, classes, and backgrounds. We plan for a 2-month journey across the country to visit schools that still openly discriminate against LGBTQ students and faculty. Did you know that there are over 200 of them in the United States? Universities and seminaries where we aren't allowed to get an education. But first, we have to study. Training takes place over several months. Who doesn't need to know a little bit of Hebrew and ancient Greek? We take our scholarship seriously, just as seriously as the schools we visit do. We aren't just learning how to have these conversations that directly address the arguments that people make with the Bible against LGBTQ people. We are becoming a community, dealing with oppression, relationships, communication, and personal histories. It's not easy, but we have to become the idea of a healed community that we want to advocate across the country. Now we are ready to board the bus and travel from state to state. The best case scenario is the school chooses to work with the Equality Ride, and we have a really amazing day of meetings, meals, workshops, music, heartbreaking and heart-opening conversations, and spoken word events. Students are hungry to meet us, to talk about LGBTQ issues in an open and honest way. We often become like counselors, guess people see us as safe, telling us about what worries them in their personal and spiritual lives. The worst case scenario is the school chooses to shut down all communications. Sometimes the right thing to do is to focus our energy on hosting off-campus events. Sometimes the right thing to do is to try to go on campus anyway. We are in the position to symbolically represent the LGBTQ voice in some very repressive places. Being silenced is not an option. Sometimes the school relents, and sometimes they choose to arrest us. Everywhere we go, we work with the surrounding community. Service projects, presentations, church services, vigils. We are creative, resourceful, sometimes a bit scrappy. It takes ingenuity, authenticity, and a bit of outside-the-box thinking to find the right connections and support the LGBTQ students we meet. This is bigger than God versus gay. This is about changing the tone of the debate, about rolling up our sleeves and boldly walking right into very hard conversations. This is about busting myths and seeing the humanity of people we read about in the newspapers. We talk about a lot more than sexuality, gender, and religion. Just as often we are talking about the meaning of community, how we reconcile personal faith and politics that govern all of our lives, war, racism, or educational access. We've been traveling since 2005. Since then, we've seen a lot of progress. 6 schools have changed their policies for the better, 3 schools have found official faculty support, while many more have clandestine support. Students have come out in Newsweek, the LA Times, the Washington Post, and the Advocate. Queer-straight alliances have been started or strengthened in 16 schools, and over 100 Equality Riders have received top-notch training in how to organize and lead. Soulforce commits our work to being anti-oppression, meaning we strive to uproot the isms of great society like racism, classism, and ableism from our projects. Soulforce also commits to genuinely supporting young adult leadership. We make the almost unheard of promise that all our young adult actions will be free of cost to participants. That's right, we cover airfare, trainings, food, supplies, clothing, fuel, transportation, and housing. We believe that the iconoclastic, fresh minds of young folks are going to lead the exciting, cross-movement work that social justice called for. With the Equality Riders, we are stretching the definition of LGBTQ activism and ensuring that we support leaders who know the meaning of liberation, equity, and inclusion.